day, my amigos. And a very warm welcome to you from the Quixote News Network. I am Don Quixote, the Dude of La Mancha. Today's program is about a big scandal. This scandal got Canada into a lot of trouble, and some would even say crap. Yes, I distinctly said crap. This scandal put Canadian leaders into a very big bunch of that smelly stuff. And Canadian politicians were in it, right up to their stinking armpits. They still are. There was a lot of anger, not only from people across Canada, but from progressive people around the world. I am talking about the fact that 2 years ago, every elected person in Canada's parliament stood up and gave 2 very happy rounds of clapping for a Nazi war veteran, who they cheered as a hero. This guy is one of about 4,000 veterans from Ukrainian fascist divisions that Canada welcomed after the war. Since then, Canadian governments have actually been protecting and funding groups that glorify Nazi collaborators. But this fact is still being very successfully covered up. Many people could not believe that Canadian politicians could be, well, so stupid, or so right-wing, or so totally ignorant, that they would cheer and clap for this veteran, and call him a hero of Canada. But I am talking way too much. Let's try now to have a bit of fun, and also to make some sense of this crazy scandal.
Knock off the dean. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bump off the square. That's what it's about. Hate is sin. Love is sound.
We have here in the chamber today Ukrainian-Canadian world veteran from the Second World War who fought the Ukrainian independence against the Russians and continues to support the troops today, even at his age of 98. He's a Ukrainian hero, a Canadian hero, and we thank him for all his service. Thank you.
This program to bring you a special news bulletin.
It's a hunka hunka burning love. It's a hunka hunka burning love. It's a hunka hunka burning love.
Sacred cows!
1 question 99.
What's up, Max?
Who are the sacred cows?
They're the hottest rock and roll group in the country, Max.
Of course, the sacred cows.
Thrill, thrill, thrill.
Kill, kill, kill. Make a scene. Knock off a dean. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bump off a sweat. That's what it's about. Hate is in.
Max, quick! I'm weakening! The live
It
hill!
marks the birth of Stepan Bandera, the leader of the Ukrainian.
Slava Ukraini! Героям слава! Україна мати, ми за Україну будемо воювати, батько наш Бандера. Україна мати, ми за Україну будемо воювати. Слава нації!
Protesters marched amidst a river of torches.
I know these views aren't popular, but I have never courted popularity.
The German Zeppelin Hindenburg, Queen of the Skies, seen here from a universal newsreel camera plane as it sped up to its tragic end, now lies a twisted mass of metal. Shortly after these pictures were taken, showing the great Skyliner saluting the millions watching it from below on its first trip of the season, the huge craft exploded while docking and blazed to a fiery end. The wind is bad and the docking is a ticklish one, but it's all a thrill for the crowd of happy passengers eager to land after their transoceanic trip. Slowly the big ship warps in, and the ground crews rush for the mooring line. In another 10 minutes or so, the great aircraft would have been snugly docked. But as the passengers crowded the windows to watch, a roar and a burst of flame near the big tail fins turned the ship into a flaming inferno.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News.
In 1940, the Ukrainian nationalist movement was divided. One side wanted their own fascist state. The other wanted Ukraine as part of Hitler's Greater Germany. Bandera's faction, wanting independence, created the Ukrainian Insurgent Army. The other, being more subservient to the Nazis, went on to recruit for the Ukrainian Waffen SS. In 1940, King's bureaucrats created a new group to unite these rivals. Canadian governments have been funding it and member groups from both factions ever since.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin.
Lord Almighty, I feel the tensions rising. Higher and higher, they all scream for the show. Set yourselves on fire, like my morning sky, I'm burning love. Ooh, 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 I feel the tensions rising. Help me close, I don't know who's on my side. Burning, 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 and no one can fool me. Two standing ovations for a crime. Politicians sure tired. Set yourselves on fire, like my morning sky, burning love. Should be a baron who's fighting in which army. Don't you tell me you need someone to explain. It's hard to believe they didn't know his reason. Lord have mercy, cheering for the enemy. You politicians sure retire. Set yourselves on fire, like my morning sky, I'm a burning love. Hunka don't deserve that love. Hunka don't deserve that love. Hunka don't deserve that love. I'm a burning love.
The powers that be control the narratives that people have in their minds about reality. And so they can control through the mass media what people think to a large extent. And sometimes, though, we are able to expose the lie they are spreading. And so once we expose that lie, their narrative, their official narrative, their official story, the fake news that they're trying to promote to us, the BS Dung-Ball rolls down the hill. And then the poor bureaucrat has to roll another one up, but they have to change their narrative a bit because we've exposed that it's a lie. So they can't live with that lie anymore. The general public figures out that the official story is a lie. So what they then do is that they try to maintain as much of the lie as they can and try to modify it as little as possible. And then they try to roll out another lie, which we then have to expose again. So it's this constant process of them rolling out these lies, us exposing them, and they just pack up another ball of dung and roll it up the hill.
Special news bulletin.
Lord Almighty, I feel the tensions rising. Higher and higher, they all scream for the show. They don't know you were setting cities on fire. They've been clapping for the wrong people. Politicians sure retire. Set yourselves on fire, like my morning sky, I'm burning love.
broken record, the risk of sounding like a broken record, the risk of sounding like a broken record.
We cannot keep this a secret any longer. Let us punish the guilty. Let us reward the innocent.
En la plaza de mi pueblo dijo el jornalero al amo. En la plaza de mi pueblo dijo el jornalero al amo. Nuestros hijos nacerán con el puño levantado. Nuestros hijos nacerán con el puño levantado. Esta tierra que no es mía, esta tierra que es del amo. Esta tierra que no es mía, esta tierra que es del amo. La riego con mi sudor, la trabajo con mis manos. La riego con mi sudor, la trabajo con mis manos. Pero dime, compañero, si estas tierras son del amo. Pero dime, compañero, si estas tierras son del amo. Porque nunca lo hemos visto trabajando en el arao. Porque nunca lo hemos visto trabajando en el arao. Con mi arado abro los surcos, con mi arado escribo yo. Con mi arado abro los surcos, con mi arado escribo yo. Páginas sobre la tierra de miseria y de sudor. Páginas sobre la tierra de miseria y de sudor.